my name is Dr. Anna Navida Dolopo, and I am a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I'm a licensed acupuncturist here in beautiful Orange County. I practice in beautiful, beautiful Laguna Hills, and I've been in practice since 1999. I welcome you to my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and if you like the material, please do share it. Today, we're going to talk about how to prevent blue balls. Now, you may wonder, why is there a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine who wants to discuss how to prevent blue balls? Well, if you go to my website, Elements in Harmony, acupuncture.com, you'll see that I have a few specialties. I help people graduate from pain. I treat a lot of internal health issues, and I especially help some of the most challenging fertility cases. So I've done well over 60 plus videos on women's health. And, you know, there is a lot of stuff regarding men's health that we don't discuss freely and openly, which we should. And it may sound like a very strange or funny or maybe hilarious topic, but why do people want to know? Well, this stuff does happen, and this is actually going to be a series of men's health issues. My last video was about atrophy of the clitoris. So I joke around talking about I did a clitoris video or I did a sex video, and they're all about libido. Let's face it, if you're trying to have a baby, then you might not want to have sexual reproductive issues. And in general, when you want to grow old, as we age, it's probably to most people's desire to look and feel and act as young as possible. I'm 48 years old, and I take tremendous pride in that because I take great care of myself. It is work. The women that I surround myself with are very young looking as well. Tomorrow I'm going to be training my private with my jiu-jitsu coach. This is my 10th year training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and it's challenging, to stay in shape and be able to train and keep up with these 20-year-old girls. And I'm not joking. I say the ages of the young ladies that I train with, that I basically spar against. It's not easy. And the fact that I have 10 fingers and 10 toes, and I don't have, I'm running around, and I saw a lot of patients today, and my kids are 18 and 12 and 4. That is work. And if you take a good look at my lifestyle, that has a lot to do with what I do day in and day out to be able to live a very young and, very active lifestyle. I take supplements, I take herbs, I do acupuncture almost every day, at least minimum 2 to 5 times a week, minimum. I get massages, I go see a chiropractor. I take a lot of great care of myself. And my kids have never taken antibiotics. They've been taking herbs since age 1. It is a lifestyle. So, just wanted to get that out of the way and just share with you who I am. I've been a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I've been a licensed acupuncturist since 1999, and this is my passion. And I really do, from this video, have the intention to share with men how to live stronger, healthier lives. And if you are trying to become a daddy, maybe you might learn some stuff in this video. I'm just going to deviate just a little bit. If you go to elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com, you'll see that I did a video. Scroll down. If you look at the fertility, pregnancy, birth section, which is the first section, you'll see I did a video on what turns women on. Obviously, in this video, I'm talking about heterosexual couples, talking about sperm motility, smells that arouse men, sex. I've done at least 7 libido videos. I did a video on men's emotions that especially has to do with how men handle miscarriages. So these are funny topics, the titles, but we're talking about some serious stuff. And I'm excited because the name of my podcast that we're going to be creating is called The Amazing Podcast. And the first one The first topic is going to be called How to Prevent Blue Balls, and let's talk about your clitoris health. So, in that video that I just shared, atrophy of the clitoris, one thing that I had learned is that the clitoris can actually disappear. So I'll let you watch that video. So thank you for being here. And without further ado, let's just see what I found online. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read from you directly a couple of things that I found on the regular web. And then I'm going to read some stuff that are scientific data that I found on PubMed. Okay, so hopefully you find this information very interesting. This will be the groundwork, the foundation. It's going to be a series of men's health. I'm especially interested in talking about reproductive health and some other stuff. But we do need to talk about erectile dysfunction. We need to talk about your prostate health, genital urinary stuff. The stuff that you don't really want to talk about, but you do have to address it. Blood pressure and stuff like that, okay? So, men, I'm surrounded by men. I've been married for 20 years. I've got men in my life. I've got a little boy. And a lot of my patients, at least 40% of my patients daily are men. My last 2 patients today were men. And so, I want men to feel comfortable talking about matters, health issues that really matter, that you don't want it to get to a point where now you have to be in let's fix it gear. Let's talk about how you can prevent health issues gear. Make sense? All right, so let's just have some fun and let's go to the first one. So I went online. I said, how do you prevent blue balls? The first one that showed up was how to deal with blue balls. So we're not preventing blue balls right now. We're dealing with the blue balls. So blue balls might be, so you can find this at wikihow.com/deal-with-blue-balls. So pretty straightforward. I'll be putting these links in the video. This is going to be on YouTube. If I'm posting this anywhere else, I will put these links. But I'm just giving them to you verbally so that you can follow along if you want to. So blue balls might be uncomfortable, but they're completely harmless. So I'm sharing this because ladies, we don't know this stuff. We hear it, it's funny, but we don't know this stuff. So a lot of ladies might be able to understand now going forward what men have to go through. This happens to almost every guy at least once, so you're not alone. There's actually not a ton of research on how to get rid of blue balls. Luckily, a few tips to tend to work pretty well. So now you know why I'm doing a video on how to prevent blue balls. I'm going to be talking about the Shaolin monks in one of these videos and going along that route on how they deal with ejaculation. But we're going to save that for another video. All right, so I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to read some key points. Number 1, have an orgasm to release the pressure. That makes sense, right? Here's some points. Never use blue balls as an excuse to pressure your partner into having sex. And then it also says women can also feel something similar if they get aroused without having an orgasm, and the solution is the same. The second one is hold a compress on your testicles if you don't want to have an orgasm. A cold shower might seem like a cliche, but this works too. Try to focus the water on your testicles. If you're using a cold compress, always make sure you wrap it in a towel and don't let it directly touch your skin. So I might be talking to some young gentlemen who are maybe hopefully 18 and over. I was told by my 18-year-old daughter that her friend was watching my libido videos. I thought that was quite interesting. But, do pay attention to these. It's more important for me to explain later how to prevent them, okay? We'll be talking about Qigong. There's this guy that I follow sometimes on YouTube, Sexual Kung Fu. I think his material is really good because you want to strengthen the kidneys, I'm not talking about your actual kidneys, although I'm also not talking about it. I'm talking about the energy of your kidneys. So throughout these series, we're going to talk about energy a lot. Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road between Western and Eastern medicine. We talk about chi, we talk about yin and yang and jing and stuff like that. That sound probably very, very foreign to you, but we're going to introduce some of those terminologies, some of that terminology, so that you can kind of get a little more adept to understanding what Chinese medicine and all this woo-woo stuff is. Okay, I've been studying Chinese medicine since 1994. I've heard it all, you know, about people's jokes or skepticisms and stuff like that. There's nothing you can say that can offend me. This is now 2022. I've been a student since 1994, so my skin is pretty tough when it comes to people making fun of Chinese medicine or having their doubts. Number 3, exercise to focus blood to other parts of your body. There is no real evidence that this works, but some men say it helps them. This might be uncomfortable for a little while until the blood drains away from your genitals. I'm actually going to double back to what I said about the Shaolin monks. I had read in this book many, many years ago, and it was an amazing book by this gentleman. Was a Chinese medicine doctor, a Western medical doctor. He was also a lawyer and a judge and all this stuff. I was like, who is this guy? He was well educated, and he wrote this really big book, and I cannot find that book. And so one day it'll materialize, but he was talking about how, and I will come up with the data later, but I remember him saying, and I've read it in other sources, how Shaolin monks, and probably other monks as well, have mastered the art of not coming, but recycling their semen. So I'm just gonna, I'm going to find the material before I really read about it. But I remember reading about that in my 20s, so over 20 years ago, and I thought that was very interesting. And so people who are devout Taoists, supposedly, from what I read, are able to not actually ejaculate. They actually recycle it, and then they actually had an illustration, so showing how the ejaculate actually can be. There's these 2 meridians. One is called the Ren meridian. It's called the conception vessel, and it starts just for women. Well, let's say for men, posterior to the scrotum. And so it's, I guess you would call it the taint area. Basically posterior to between the posterior of the scrotum and the anus, and it goes up your front midline and ends right here. And then the dew channel, the governing vessel, starts right at your butt crack, and it goes up the spine, goes around, and ends right here. So the Ren meridian ends here, and the dew meridian ends here. So they showed how the ejaculate is able to be, the term they used was recycled. So we will talk about that another time, but that is one way that they don't get blue balls. Let's see. It's not described here though. Number 4, distract yourself with other activities so you don't notice the pain. So ladies, blue balls is obviously a real thing. Men actually go through it. So blue balls will eventually go away on their own without any problems. In the meantime, anything can distract you from the pain until it passes. So ladies, men who have blue balls actually have pain. Sometimes that requires mental concentration, like solving a puzzle or playing a complicated video game, could work as well as distraction. You might find physical activities like sports more distracting. These work too. Number 5, focus on non-sexual thoughts so the problem doesn't get worse. And here's identifying blue balls. Notice an aching heaviness in your testicles when you're aroused. I'll let you read that. Number 2, don't rely on your testicles turning blue to identify blue balls. So I guess some men think that your testicles have to turn blue and actually to call them blue balls. Your scrotum might look more red or pink instead of blue. This is from the blood building up in the area. So as a Qigong practitioner, I can tell you I'm not a man, I'm a woman. I don't know what that feels like, but conceptually, if you're able to control your Jing Qi, which is the deepest level of your energy, and you can practice Tai Chi or Qigong. I'd have to do a lot more research on this, and I'm going to see if there's anything that the guy on Sexual Kung Fu, basically he teaches Qigong, and his website's called Sexual Kung Fu, I believe, if he talks about this. But conceptually, what I'm hearing is that if you can cultivate your energy internally, you can prevent blue balls. We'd have to talk about this privately during consultation. Men do come in for a variety of sexual health issues. Erectile dysfunction is just one of those things. It's a big thing. And so, that's why I'm bringing this up. So, see your doctor if your testicles hurt for more than a few days. So women, testicles can hurt for more than a few days. I did not know that. On the other hand, you don't have to see your doctor for blue balls as long as the pain goes away. It's a normal problem that doesn't cause any harm. Number 4, make a doctor's appointment if your testicles hurt without being aroused. I didn't know that was a possibility also. All kinds of things can cause testicular pain, and luckily most of them aren't dangerous. They range from minor infections, fluid buildup, inflammation, or injuries. These are all treatable problems. There's actually another link that is called taylorjohnson.life/how-to-prevent-blue-balls. So there's actually a guy named Taylor Johnson, and he talks about how to prevent blue balls. So right in line with what we're talking about, there are 7 doctors who are going to be doing this amazing podcast with me. I think it's going to be fun, hilarious, and very factual, and maybe some, fun anecdotes. Maybe they might be factual, maybe they might be more anecdotes, like legend, just talking, just what we hear. And some of them are going to be men. Some of these doctors that will be on this show with me will be men, so that'll be interesting to hear what they have to say. So, How to Prevent Blue Balls by Taylor Johnson. Number 1, actions to take before a sexual encounter. Action 1, stretch your legs and lower body and breathe deeply while you stretch. So, one of my coaches, Professor Jimmy Terrell, has taught me how to breathe 4, 4, 4, 4. In through your nose for 4. Hold it for 4 Mississippis. Exhale through your mouth for 4 Mississippis, and hold it for 4 Mississippis. I think he just said, just breathe, but I like the in through the nose, out through the mouth. When you breathe in, you expand your belly and you hold it, and when you exhale, you empty your belly. So no shallow breathing. So I teach this in my Qigong classes. I teach once or twice a month. This month, August, has been very busy. So we didn't do Qigong at the beach, but I'm thinking the first Sunday, which is Labor Day weekend, at 9 a.m., a usual spot. So if you're interested, you can telegram me or text me at 1-619-341-4341. It's a lot of fun, and it's at the beach. And my intention every time I do this is to help not just fertility people, but people to have stronger energy of the kidneys. And we may be doing some work to prevent blue balls using these techniques or using these concepts. So, number 1, stretch your legs and lower body and breathe deeply while you stretch. Number 2, massage and cup your balls, bringing more life and vitality into them before sex. Number 3, do some sort of mindful somatic practice like yoga or qigong. Oh my goodness, he actually said it. I swear to you, I didn't. I just looked at the title and I said, I'm going to talk about that and read it and learn as we go. And he actually said it. Number 3, again, the website is taylorjohnson.life/how-to-prevent-blue-balls. And in number 3, action step, he says, do some sort of mindful somatic practice like yoga or qigong. I remember reading a long time ago that Sting does yoga every day. And the first thing I thought of was, he has strong vitality. That guy does not have sexual issues. So I don't know. I had heard that oh gosh, in my early 20s, mid 20s. So that was definitely over 20 years ago. And I remember being so impressed. I had already finished Chinese medicine school, and I thought, that's awesome. Number 4, do 20 push-ups, 50 jumping jacks, 20 sit-ups, and anything to get you more into your body. Actions to take during a sexual encounter. Number 1, breathe deeply and intentionally. Treat your breath as a practice and breathe powerfully into your belly. Breathe down into your balls. Action 2, focus on feeling sexual pleasure throughout your entire body, not just in your genitals. A lot of awareness going on here. Number 3, shift your focus away from thoughts or expectations of ejaculation. This is huge. I'm going to quote, he's cursing here, but this is dudes talking to dudes. Your mind is fucking powerful. Now, if you are my business student with successfulacupuncturist.com, you know what that means to us. But if you're my patient and if you're my male client here for fertility, you know we talk about this. And so it's so great to hear it from someone to actually say that last sentence. Your mind is so effing powerful. So, I'm just going to leave it at that. Please do visit this website. I think these are very powerful tools. Number 4, visualize and imagine your sexual pleasure and sexual energy spreading from your cock throughout your entire body. So I am reading directly from this website, and obviously it's a dude talking to other dudes, so I pardon my vernacular, but I'm just reading to you as it is. You might be happy to know that these same steps also help with learning how to last longer in bed. These steps can help to prevent blue balls even if you have sex for an hour and don't ejaculate. All right, so I'm going to just step aside for a second, and I'm going to show you this book. We'll go back to that website. I'm going to show you this book, and every one of my patients, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these books that all belong to my patients, individual people, and I have 7 of my own copies. 3 or 4 of them belong to other patients and I have to pick them up. But these are books that belong to my patients that I have to fill out. And if you go to the water, it's by Paul Pitchford. I've been referring to this book since 1994. It's a well-written book. And there's this section on water elements. If you have the 3rd edition, what I'm looking at is the pages between 354. I'm going to keep this short. I want to go back to that website because I know you're probably more interested in the blue balls part. But the water element has to do with the organ systems of the kidneys and the bladder. And the deepest level of the kidneys, the deepest level of qi is a jing. And in my definition, I consider the jing to be, they call it essential qi. It is the deepest level of qi. This is basically where, in my book, your most essential energy resides. That's your sperm and that's your egg. What is more powerful than creating another human being? So even if you're not making a baby the way God intended, but you're doing it, in IVF, you are having the need. You still need a sperm and you still need an egg. And so there's a section here, Jing. It's page 360. I don't know if you can see it, but basically it's right in the middle of the book. Nourishing the Jing. Everyone needs more vitality. There is no limit. And therefore, everyone needs to nourish their Jing. So what depletes Jing? Stress, fear, insecurity, and overwork. Too much semen loss in men greatly reduces Jing, particularly when it comes to old age. So you hear in my other videos, I want men having sex 2 to 4 times a week. But it can't be when you're tired. For women, bearing too many children, especially without rebuilding soon after each birth. Too many means more than their particular constitution can healthfully support. So I like a 3-year difference from birth to conception. So I don't want to lose you guys right now. Just bear with me. I just want to talk to my fertility clients really fast. There's a reason why my kids are 6 years apart and 7 years apart. They're with the same man. And we had our 3rd one at 43. When your chi is strong, you can conceive. at any childbearing age, but you have to have strong chi. So when I say I want a 3-year difference between birth and conception, it means that that is probably the best time, the best length of time, in my opinion, for women to fully recover from birth, from pregnancy and birth. So when a woman has, say, for example, miscarriages, her gene's not strong enough. If there's a miscarriage between birth and that second conception and it's within 3 years, it's not just because it just happened. It's because you didn't rebuild your constitution. You didn't rebuild your chi after birth. We can talk about that privately. So I just want to tell you that this is one of my favorite parts. General symptoms of kidney imbalance. This is your deepest, Jing Qi is your deepest level of Qi. So anything regarding kidney imbalance, kidney energy imbalance, okay, we're talking Chinese medicine, all bone problems, especially the knees, lower back, and teeth, hearing loss and ear infections and diseases, head hair problems, hair loss, split ends, premature graying, any urinary, sexual, and reproductive imbalances, poor growth and development of the mind and body, premature aging, excessive fear and insecurity. And I really break that down during consultation. I want you to please, if you go to elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com, and you'll see right in the middle testimonials, internal issues, and you scroll down, it's all the way down, you'll see hair loss, insomnia, dizziness, and you'll see a very long testimonial, and it was by Y, and it was March 16, 2020. You can read that testimonial on your own, but just look at the picture. Look at that full head of hair, and look at the right, how her hair was falling. So what did I do? I strengthened her Jing Qi. So this may sound very, we're talking about blue balls, but hey, sexual dysfunction affects men and women. So let's go back to what this Taylor Johnson's talking about. Okay, so actions you can take immediately after a sexual encounter. I'm going to give my 2 cents. Sex as an activity really can strengthen your kidney chi, or it can worsen your kidney chi. What does that mean? Well, you just heard that too much, especially when you're younger, can affect you when you're older. There is such a thing as too little, and we talk about that privately. So I'll just refer, what does that mean? I did a video a long time ago, well, not too long ago, maybe a year ago or so, where I had found a study showing that abstinence, so it's elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com/sperm. You can watch that video, but I quote from babyhopes.com/blogs/fertility/abstaining, and these are based on scientific studies. I'll cite them here. The scientific studies are on PubMed. I'll just give the titles. I won't give the authors. Effects of long abstinent periods on human sperm quality. Let's see. The second one is relationship between the duration of sexual abstinence and semen quality. Analysis of 9,489 semen samples. And the third study, analysis of semen parameters during 2 weeks of daily ejaculation, a first in human study. So that one was translational andrology and urology. So these are all on PubMed. They all have their DOIs there. I will not read the whole thing, but basically it says, the studies show abstinence is mainly irrelevant for couples with normal fertility. Abstinence should not extend beyond the 2-day mark, as there is no benefit. You should not be waiting for ovulation to occur after sex. Having sex every 2 to 3 days throughout the cycle ensures sperm will be waiting to fertilize the egg. So I'll have you read that and watch that video on your own. But it is important to understand that men should be having sex. So Dr. John Gray, and he's written over 30 books, and you should follow him online. He talks about women's health and men's health. So I've been studying him since 2009, and I really love his work. And one thing that he shares is that the higher a man's testosterone is, and we're talking natural testosterone, not from drugs, not from having to take something, but his own natural testosterone. Now, natural supplements, we're not talking anything that's going to harm you, But when you can naturally have higher testosterone, men, your chances for heart disease goes down. So I can break that down from a Chinese medical perspective, but I'm not going to do it here. We'll talk about that privately. But they showed that the higher men's testosterone levels are, and naturally, the lower the chances for heart disease. Also, when men's testosterone is higher, their stress is low. So men aren't designed to talk over 10 minutes unless it's something that they want to talk about. But when we're forcing them to talk about something that matters to us, but talking about problems causes them more stress, lowers their testosterone, and increases their chances for a heart attack. Basically, don't force men to talk about things they don't want to talk about. Their brains are not wired for it. So I don't want to go too much into neuroscience, but I just want to share. Dudes, I get you. I really had to study about how you function. After 10 minutes, if not before that, if all women do is nag, 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 what happens is men then shut down. So many years ago, at least, unfortunately, 4+ years ago, one of my friends, her husband passed away, and her son and daughter had different ways of handling things. They were my daughter's age at the time. They were 8th graders. So the son didn't want to talk about it. The daughter benefited from having a therapist. The mom, my friend, really wanted her son to go talk to a therapist, but he just was closed off. I said to her, if you force your son to talk right now, you're just going to stress him out. I'm not saying he shouldn't do therapy, but if you force him to, it's not something he's wired to do right now. Now, I'm not saying therapy for boys is not good. What I'm saying is that men, the way their brains are designed, by the studies that I've heard from Dr. John Gray and some other people who talk about neuroscience, is that when a man is forced to talk about something that he doesn't want to talk about, you actually will lower his testosterone, increase his stress, and potentially have him have heart issues. So we don't want to cause that. We want men's testosterone to be high, heart disease chance low, and to be chill and calm and be stress-free. And so that's why I'm doing this video on how to prevent blue balls, because we want men to be healthy and strong and happy. When men have this pent-up energy, we're not just talking about having sex. We're talking about, your ability to do yoga and qigong and live a healthy lifestyle and eat healthy and exercise. The healthier your lifestyle is, the less likely you'll have blue balls. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm not a man, so when we do this amazing podcast, the male doctors will really bring powerful stuff to the table. So, actions you can take immediately after a sexual encounter. Massage and squeeze your balls firmly, not hard enough to cause pain. Remember that blue balls comes from physical fluid buildup. Massaging can help move things that are stuck. So we're talking about stagnant chi. You'll hear that a lot from acupuncturists. Oh, your chi is stagnant. You have stagnant chi. You have stagnant liver chi. The energy of the liver, I'm not talking about the liver. I'm talking about the meridian of the liver. Goes from the big toe, goes around the genitals. So the energy of the liver goes around the genitals. The emotion of the liver is anger, stress, resentment, pent-up emotions, controlling the emotions. So you really got to do a lot of exercise to get that aggression out. Okay? All right. Let's just say, if my husband ever gets kind of wound up, I'm like, go to jiu-jitsu. Go do what you got to do. Go punch a bag. Get that aggression out. All right. Number 2, take a deep breath in while squeezing your balls, and imagine the sensations you feel in your balls and cock moving up into your entire body, integrating with your entire body. Remember, your mind is powerful. So, again, I apologize for the terminologies I'm using, but this is obviously a dude talking to other dudes. I'm just a woman reading directly from this website. But you have to understand, fellas, women, we don't look for stuff like this. And I'm really trying. My intention is to bring out awareness that men have some sexual reproductive issues, and this is the basis. We're not going deep yet. This is just like the foundation, and each part of these series we're going to be talking more about men's health. The last video that I did was on atrophy of the clitoris, atrophy of clitoris. There's going to be a lot that we're going to talk about regarding women's health, women's genitals, our breasts, and stuff like that. I'm going to be talking a lot about Mantak Chia, M-A-N-T-A-K. Last name is Chia. If you don't know who what London Rose is, I do recommend that you go to London Rose and look up Mastering the Vagina. I'll just leave it at that. We're going to break that down another time. All right. And this is the second time he said, remember your mind is powerful. Action 3. Do Qigong or yoga or some form of semi-challenging mindful movement. So, again, I didn't read this earlier. I'm so pleased that he read that. So if you want to take my Qigong classes at the beach, they're so much fun. I keep telling people, Qigong, Qigong, Qigong. If you go to elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com and you go to videos and you slide down and you see Qigong, and you'll see some of our pictures there. So yes, there's Qigong for fertility, but Qigong is for everyone. I'm not trying to have a baby, but I'm going to be doing Qigong for the rest of my life. I'd like to let you know I am not a master of Qigong, but I've been doing martial arts or some kind of form of martial arts since I was 7, and I started studying Qigong when I was 20 years old. And in my high school years, I studied Wushu, but college years, I actually competed on Hung Sing Trolley Foot. I competed as far as Baltimore. So I've been exposed to Kung Fu for quite some time. But I really got into Qigong when I was 20 years old, studying Chinese medicine. So you'll see that I did, if you go to elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com/Qigong, that's spelled QIGONG, -research. I'm not going to read from this, but I just want you to know that this is a page that I created a few years ago. And I did a couple of videos. One's on Qigong research. One is on COVID-19 and its health impact on overweight patients. I did that. That was a presentation during my doctoral program, the Doctor of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine program at Pacific College of Health and Science. That is a 1 hour and 15-minute video. I presented it with a Dr. Jamie. She's now Dr. Jamie. And right after the class, I did this video because the material was still fresh. And then I did a video on benefits of Qigong, 5 research studies. What I want to read here is that when I did this research on Qigong on PubMed.gov, what I found between 2000 and 2021 was that there were 1,982 results on PubMed.gov. I did a video on 12 studies, and one of the things that it said, one of the studies found that beneficial, I'm quoting, results from practicing Qigong were reported in 97% of studies. The name of that article, of that paper, is Evidence Base of Clinical Studies on Qigong, a bibliometric analysis. So when you see these 12 studies, you'll see it's for coronavirus pneumonia, COVID-19, pulmonary function, quality of life in patients with COVID-19, the effects of Tai Chi and Qigong on patients with obstructive sleep apnea, COPD, a symptomatic review and meta-analysis. So these are high-level studies. When you hear the word systematic review or meta-analysis, that means that's the highest level of study. So these are not just things that I found online. This is directly from PubMed, showing that there were 97% beneficial results doing Qigong. So when you go to an article or a page like taylorjohnson.life, how-to-prevent-blue-balls, and he's saying twice now, do Qigong or yoga or some form of semi-challenging mindful movement, you got to connect the dots that there's something going on with men, and it is a sexual reproductive issue. And like I said, later on we're going to talk about prostate and things like that, erectile dysfunction. This is the surface. This is scratching the surface right now. We're just talking about how to prevent blue balls. As we go further deep into the series, we're going to really talk about men's health. So if it's just something superficial that there's really no medical harm by having blue balls, but he's saying, gotta do some qigong, gotta do some yoga, there's something really important to hear from that. Action 4, do 20 push-ups. I'm not joking. Number 5, do 30 jumping jacks. Again, I'm not joking. So additional resources, orgasmic mastery course. That sounds interesting. A 5-week course for men to overcome premature ejaculation, have multiple non-ejaculatory orgasms, and be able to make love for hours. Semen retention mastery. A 21-day semen retention challenge for men to build their sexual energy and use it to create the life they want. Preventing blue balls is easier than healing them once they happen. I'm going to tell you right now, when I came up with this title, everyone was laughing. They said that's going to be a great podcast. That's going to be a great video. I did not know about this website. So I'm more intrigued. I really want to learn more about men's health. Like I said, I have a husband. And when I really started studying Dr. John Gray's work, I really started to understand the magnitude of the importance of men's sexual health and its relationship with longevity. So I was already studying this since 1994 in Chinese medical school, but we didn't delve into sexual health. We had to learn all the stuff we needed for the acupuncture board and for that exam. So you're not really going to sexual health. We just learned the basic information. But now this is my 24th year in practice, and I went from, no, I never want to specialize in fertility, to now I'm specializing in the most challenging fertility cases. Like if you watch my video, making a baby takes commitment. 4 failed IVFs, 2 failed IUIs, at least, and two miscarriages from natural conception prior to working with me. I'll let you watch that video. What did I do? I strengthened the energy of her kidneys, and I did a bunch of other things. I talked a lot about women's health. Now I'm a lot more curious about men's health, and that obviously has a lot to do with men's sexual function. Your libido tells me, that's your for libido, that tells me your grade of your health. If you have low libido, your grade of your health is not that great. If you have high libido, that tells me you have strong kidney chi. I want you to have strong kidney chi. For women, I want you to have strong kidney chi. For men, I want you to have strong kidney chi. And that's one way we can prevent blue balls conceptually. Okay, let's see. Preventing blue balls is easier than healing them once they happen. It is possible to have sex for hours and have multiple orgasms without ejaculating while also not getting blue balls. I'm not joking. Okay, he's getting this information from some Shaolin monk stuff. It's amazing. I'm telling you this from personal experience and from the experience of other men that have gone through my orgasmic mastery course. You can walk away from a sexual encounter without ejaculating and feel absolutely incredible. So I am very interested in this guy. So who is Taylor? Taylor is a sexual mastery coach for men who is committed to helping men improve their sex lives so they can thrive in all areas of life. Oh, let's learn more about Taylor. If you struggle with any of these things below, you're in the right place. Premature ejaculation, porn addiction, codependent patterns in long-term relationship, jealousy, insecurity, scarcity mindset, fear of asking for what you want, emotional repression, owning your healthy masculine, not knowing how to communicate your needs, not knowing your needs, inability to harness your sexual power. Wow, I have never heard of this guy. I just did a Google search and I am intrigued. Society would like you to believe that your sexual desires are unhealthy, that your sexual life isn't important, and that you shouldn't talk about it. Your sexuality impacts every area of your life. I'm going to do a lot more studies on this. So I'm going to leave that for you guys to read on your own. But I just want to, I did do these studies in a different video. I'm just going to read the titles. These now are on National Institutes of Health. Those first two were just like, I did a basic Google search. So how to prevent blue balls. I found foods with foods with influence in the sexual and reproductive health. That's on PubMed. food with influence in the sexual and reproductive health. I'll be discussing that in in the actual, we'll be talking about that with the podcast, the amazing podcast with my 7 other doctors of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. So excited. Diet and men's sexual health, also National Institutes of Health, and the relationship between shift work and men's health. I actually did talk about that in another video, those 3 topics. I'm going to be doing a lot more, but you can already see those are really important topics. We're talking about shift work, the hours that men work, food, diet. So they go hand in hand. Blood pressure issues, cholesterol, libido, your sexual health, your belly, all of that. Blood pressure. We've got to talk about all these things. If you are 35, but especially 40 and over, men, we got to talk about your hormones. We talked about women being hormonal. We are going to talk about your hormones, men, okay? And so we want you to live a long time. And my understanding is women outlive men. Men, we got to talk about your health. We got to talk about how you live, the sodas you're drinking, drink a lot more water, room temperature water, stay hydrated, and don't overdo it. I had a gentleman who came in today, and I told him, you're probably having all this pain, because doctors can't figure things out, like what's going on. Probably too many supplements. There is such a thing as too much. If it's not something that just happens in the gym or whatever, and you're just having this pain, you might want to go get that checked out and make sure your kidneys are good. See what's going on with your liver enzymes. Go to a functional medicine doctor, or your physician or naturopath, or someone to do some blood tests, and just to see. But if they find that nothing is wrong but you're suffering, then it's probably you're overdoing, overworking, stressed, not exercising enough, over exercising, taking too many supplements, not taking enough supplements. It's this balance, trying to find what works for you. And just because your friends are taking 10, 15, 20 plus supplements doesn't mean you need to. There is such a thing as too much water. There is such a thing as too many supplements, too many meds. You got to have these hard conversations with your doctors and your team. So as a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, I have to have these talks with guys and say, maybe you might want to consider just taking a 2 to 3 week break from all your supplements and whatever you're taking. If you're taking, like hormones over the counter or whatever you're buying online, you really should be guided. So I'm 48 and I do my best to stay really young looking and strong and healthy. Like I said earlier, being able to do jiu-jitsu, being able to, I'm not trying to keep up with younger girls, but I'm trying to be the best that I can be at the level that I can be, and honor my body and honor, my level of energy. And I think I have amazing energy. It is 10:01 p.m. and I've been up since this morning. I'm usually first one up, last one down, but I would lie down throughout the day. I give myself treatments. I eat well. I do things in moderation. So I have a 90-10 rule, 90% healthy, 10% whatever you want. You got to make it fun as well. You can't just be all serious. And I do recommend this one thing to many people, especially to women, but I'm going to say it here for the men. 5 times a day, lie down for 5 minutes. So let's say 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or maybe not 8 a.m. because you're driving to work. So let's say 10 a.m. Find yourself a spot at home or at the office, or go to your car, turn on the AC. We're talking about 5 minutes. 10 a.m., 12 o'clock, 2 p.m., 4 o'clock, 6 p.m. So every 2 hours, put your alarm, lie down horizontally as much as possible, because that's the quickest way to heal the kidneys. That's what, in my book, I'm not going to speak for other acupuncturists, but for myself, I've been in practice since 1999, I like it when the body's completely flat. I'm not asking you to meditate. I'm not asking you to pray. I just want you to breathe. Put your phone on airplane mode. The world can be away from you for 5 minutes. The world does not need you for 5 minutes. Even if you're a parent, even if your child's in preschool, daycare, whatever, 5 minutes, you owe it to yourself. Lie down for 5 minutes. Your sales call can wait. All these meetings can wait. You are worth 5 minutes. 10, 12, 2, 4, 6. Put your alarm, lie down for 5 minutes, just breathe. Don't pay attention. The word meditating is so elusive. I'm not asking you to be aware. I'm not asking you to relax. I'm asking you to just breathe and do nothing. Make sense? Because I know when people come to me like, the word meditate is so stressful. I don't know how to meditate. Don't meditate. Just breathe. And I show them how to breathe. And I tell them, I want you to breathe like that 2,000 times a day. Which means I want you to be functioning like that. You got to breathe. You got to breathe. And you have to breathe properly. That's why I have you guys come to the Qigong at the beach with me so I can show you how to breathe. Okay? All right. I hope that stuff was entertaining. We are scratching the surface. We're going to go deep into men's health. And we want to prevent the blue balls. But more importantly, we want you to have strong hearts, no heart palpitations. One of my first patients today was a gentleman, young guy, and he talked to me about heart palpitations. You should not have anything going on with what we call the emperor. Your heart should be solid. No heart issues. If you have heart issues, we're talking about strong health issues. Oh, not good. So the heart in Chinese medicine has to do with what's called the fire element. The energy of the kidneys is what we call the water elements. Fire and water, we want them to be balanced, happy, healthy. When we're treating the kidneys, we call it foot xiaoyan. When we're treating the heart, we're calling hand xiaoyan. So there's a really nice relationship there. Foot xiaoyan, hand xiaoyan. They have to be nice and strong and healthy together. The fire and the water cannot outdo each other. They have to live in harmony with each other. Where's my yin yang? So when you see yin yang, so the foot xiaoyan kidneys, that's actually a yin. The hand xiaoyan heart, that's actually the yin. They have a nice love for each other. What complements is the heart is the small intestine. That's the yang and the yin. The heart and the small intestine. What complements the kidneys is the urinary bladder. The kidneys is the yin. The urinary bladder is the yang. So we want to make sure that the fire and the water are living harmoniously with each other. And I know that means absolutely nothing to you right now, but we will talk about that. And hopefully my colleagues, the doctors who will be doing this amazing podcast with me, they're all doctors of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, licensed acupuncturists, and maybe in functional medicine, we'll be talking about things that can be very helpful. It's going to be live on Zoom and YouTube, and I hope you really learn things about it. You'll learn a lot about men's health, women's health. I want this to be very helpful. This video, it's almost an hour. Thank you for sticking with me. Is going to be the premise, one out of quite a few in the series about men's sexual health. Your morphology, motility mean a lot to me. I got the motility from 2% to 42% in a gentleman with acupuncture. He did herbs. He's doing herbs as well as some supplements. Zinc, vitamin C, and some other stuff. So we want to make sure your health is really good. All right, have fun. I gave you Taylor John's website. I think that's what it's called. Taylor Johnson. I'm going to do a lot of work, research on him. I mentioned Dr. John Gray. I mentioned, Mantak Chia and London Rose, Mastering the Vagina. I mentioned Sexual Kung Fu. I'm going to be watching some of his videos and taking some notes. DJAlph'a, this one's for you. I hope you talk about this in your podcast. Thank you so much. In your music videos, he's a DJ for Twitch. So his shows, he has a DJ show that I strongly recommend you watch. Mondays, he does 70s music. Tuesdays, I think 80s, 90s, freestyle, hip hop, new wave. He's going to be hosting this amazing party. And it's on September 9. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, you can check him out on Twitch. I'm just pulling up the information. I think you will love it. And well, contact me. You can telegram me or text me. I'm looking at my photos. I think it's in. But he's having this great. If you're into new wave music, it's going to be in Garden Grove, in September, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm promoting him because he does a lot to promote me. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to be doing a lot of research on men's health, and I hope you guys exercise, work out, do yoga and qigong, just like Taylor Johnson talked about. Take care. Elements in Harmony, acupuncture.com. You can telegram me, you can text me, 619-341-4341. And if you are a licensed acupuncturist, a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, a registered acupuncturist, doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, wherever you are in the world, you practice Chinese medicine, please do come to Business Acumen of Successful Acupuncturists. If you're here in Southern California, come swing on by. I'll give you an acupuncture treatment. It's a lot of fun. Please plan up to 3 hours to be with me because it will be very relaxing. And thanks for watching. Take care.